Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the Human Training Your Dog is Begging You For podcast. If you're needing help understanding your dog and their wacky behaviors, you've come to the right place. We are Charles and Laura Countryman, co-founders of Canine Culture Dog Training here in Carrollton, Texas, basically Dallas. And as always, good morning, Laura.
Good morning.
And as always, we have senior trainer and head of dog evaluations here, Wyatt. Good morning, Wyatt.
Good morning.
All right, guys. So today we are going to be talking about lessons. So someone's needing a lesson or wanting to get a lesson with the dog trainer, or perhaps it's a board and train and they're going in for their first lesson. You know, what are expectations that dog owners should have of what they're going to get out of, what they're going to learn, what they're going to have to do in a lesson?
Yeah.
A one-on-one lesson with the trainer.
Let's go over what our lessons look like.
Okay. So ours are what, about half an hour long?
Half an hour, 45 minutes.
45 minutes long. And it's very much, I'm going to show you with your dog. You're going to, I'm going to show you with the dog. Then you're going to do it in front of me. And we're going to really make sure we're all doing it correctly. We're going to tell you, then show you, and then watch you do it.
And we do
and then tweak and help you.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're struggling or anything like that.
I know our board and trains are a little different. They go home every Friday. So if you have a 3-week board and train, you have a half hour, 45-minute lesson every Friday.
Every Friday.
Yeah. And then
that's really a big difference because a lot of board and trains, they'll do they call it a go home or a send home lesson, and they're 2-3 hours because it's the only lesson quite often that person is going to get with their trainer. And so the expectation, if I was the owner going to that type of lesson, would be overwhelm.
Yeah.
That would be my expectation, because really, who goes to a class for 3 hours, without a break? I mean, you go to a seminar or workshop, in about an hour and 15 hour and 30 minutes, they're taking a potty break for everybody because everyone's mentally checked out.
Yeah.
Even if you paid to be there, you're mentally checking out.
It's like death by PowerPoint. It's just too much information.
It's too much.
All at once.
And then you expect your dog to perform for 2 hours, which
or
three.
If that's not possible.
That's not possible, no matter what kind of dog you got.
Yeah.
And
they can check out.
Dog trainers themselves will check out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be a dog trainer, you have to have some flavor of ADHD.
Because really, that lesson, that 2-3 hour lesson, they're still doing the same thing. Hopefully, a good trainer is going to tell you what you're about to do, show you how to do it, hand you the leash, and have you do it with your dog. Man, that's just, oh Lord, that's time consuming.
Yeah.
But why do we do that? Why do we tell, show, and do?
Retention.
The
hardest part about this entire industry is training humans.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dogs.
The lesson is for the human.
Yeah.
It's not for the dog.
Not for the dog.
The dog knows how to do everything, is supposed to know how to do everything that, we're doing in the lesson with our client. Now it's to get the client up to speed, but it's also a transfer of leadership over to that client.
Yeah.
Now we're showing the dog, mom and dad know how to do this too. Yep. You can't go home and look at them like I got a third eyeball growing out of their forehead because they said sit to you.
Yeah.
Because dogs will associate. That's how they learn, just like humans. They'll associate all these new commands and skills they've learned here with us. So that lesson helps them. Oh, I got to do this with my family too.
Yeah.
Well, it also makes it easier on humans too, because it's never a question, does my dog know how to heel?
Right.
No, they can do it. They can do it very well, and they can do it for you. Clearly, we did it for you.
Yeah.
Now, if there's a disconnect at home, it's probably a house problem.
Yeah.
Or handling the leash problem usually.
Yeah, usually.
And that's what's nice about having 3 or 4, depending on how long your board and train is for here, is that if you're having difficulties with that leash, because humans, you think it's easy to teach a dog to sit, should be easy to teach a human have your dog to sit, but it's not that easy, we found. So if you're having issues or difficulties, you can tell us, okay, I had trouble healing around outside. So then we can work on that and help you work on that.
At the second lesson.
At the second lesson, third lesson, at the fourth lesson.
Make sure we're addressing all those things. If there were, good point, any lingering issues or struggles.
One thing I live in fear of is I'll talk to someone, we'll go over their problems, and what if I forget to write something down?
Yeah.
And if they are here for 3 weeks straight with no communication, really,
that one issue is going to come up sometime in one of those lessons.
Yeah.
Or what happens a lot is they forgot.
Yeah.
It
That's a
wasn't a
big one.
major issue, but it was an issue. And then we got to talking in the evaluation about the major issues. And then this one issue
Yeah.
never got addressed or even spoken about because
I forgot about
we just all went right by it.
Yeah.
But in the private lessons, typically that first time they'll mention it.
Yeah.
Well, it's also really nice. Like Tyler had a dog. First 2 weeks, did all the obedience, was phenomenal, and the owners literally went for the third week. I just want you to socialize my dog.
Just
And take them
with
lots
other
of
dogs.
places.
Go
yeah.
places
focus on that the third week.
and play with dogs, socialization.
Yeah. They felt the obedience was where they wanted it. Okay, let's just focus on this. Yep.
You very much want to customize it.
And that's why I like the way we do it because we don't just finish and go, oh, I wish you guys would have, oh man, had we known that was important to you, we would.
Yeah.
Because we can do a lot of minor things, even major things, if we just know that it's important to you.
Well, and a big one, to the owners, something might be a major problem, but it's super easy to fix. So we can fix your major problems in a week or two. And that third week is what do you want us to do?
Yeah.
What's your next third
What advanced skill do you want us to work
or
on?
an advanced skill or something.
Or sometimes you, like a car, you fix one thing and another thing pops up.
Yeah.
So sometimes you get that dog really good and then the owner's like, well, now he's doing X, Y, and Z. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I usually tell people he actually has always been doing X, Y, Z. But that was a minor issue.
Yes.
Now that the big issues are addressed, that minor issue is rearing its head at you. And you're like, when did you start doing that? He's always done that.
Oh, yeah.
It just wasn't such a nuisance that it grabbed your attention because ripping the couch apart was getting your attention.
Well, my favorite one is, they had this shaking, terrified of life itself dog that healed perfectly because it was scared of life itself. We give it confidence, happy. Now that's pulling them everywhere.
Yeah.
And to the owners, your dog walked great, and now it walks like crap. And you're like, no, this is a good problem to have.
Right. Yeah.
Because now we brought the dog out of the shell. Now we'll show him how to walk.
Yeah. And it's usually, that's one that's an easier
super
one.
Common.
Yeah. It's common. That's why I like group class. But let's not go into group class.
Right.
So how is our day and train? Our day and train is kind of the same for our lessons.
It's kind of the same.
We have one every other lesson, our training
Typically,
cycle.
we do 2 day and trains a week.
And have a lesson once a week.
Not a lot of trainers do day and trains. I'd say probably, I don't know. If I had to pick, I'd say half trainers do day and trains and half don't do them at all.
And our day and train is dogs dropped off in the morning and picked up
at the end of the day.
And you have a lesson once a week.
Right. And typically we do 2 day and trains a week with a day in between them. So typically like a Tuesday and a Thursday or a Monday and a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Day and trains, a lot of the work is way more on your shoulders.
Oh, it is. For the client. Because they got to do all the repetition work.
Because it's not like the board and train where you're like, no, your dog knows how to do heel.
Right.
Yeah.
Just about like here on field trips, your dog can do it. It's, your dog kind of did it for a day.
Yeah. With day and train, the lesson is really focused on, all right, here's
what you need to work on.
How to do everything because you got to be really good at these repetitions because it's your repetitions that is going to finish this. The day and train is definitely more onus on the owner.
But we also have we call them homework books, and it goes home and it's outlined what you need to work on. A day and train, there's gonna be a lot more stuff to do. But we send that home.
Homework for 7 days.
7 days.
The board and trainer is doing homework over the weekend. Right.
But if you've got a dog with no real emotional behavioral problems and you are a competent have-time owner.
Have-time. That's the big one.
Yeah. Then it works, but it's really, you're in charge of if it fails or succeeds.
Yeah. If you don't have the time to commit for a day and train, at least 3 sessions a day. For 15 minutes each, minimum. 20 to 30 be better, but at least 15 3 times a day, then do not do a day and train because it's going to be a real disappointment in the end. Because you weren't fair to the dog. You didn't give him enough consistency and repetitions.
Well, let alone fair to yourself.
Yeah.
You're figuring it out too. And your dog's figuring it out. And you're just,
we spend a long time training trainers how to become a trainer, and we're basically asking you to become a trainer overnight.
It's like with a day and train. The blind. It's oh God.
All right. So those are day and train. Those are lessons if someone was doing a day and train or a board and train. So then we have 2 other kinds of lessons that people would do. They have a lesson where they would meet a trainer at a facility, or have a trainer come to their house and do a private lesson to help them with the problem.
So both are private lessons. Just
so now we just call them private lessons. We're meeting one-on-one. Really, it's just the difference is, are we meeting here at the facility or are we meeting at someone's home or a community environment? We actually don't do private lessons unless we train the dog.
Well, no, we do
Well,
private lessons here sometimes.
Yeah,
We do
but
them
not in their home.
here,
Yeah, not the
We don't-
home. Yeah,
but if we've trained the dog, then we can do it
at their home.
At their
their
home,
home
yeah,
after
for
the
sure.
training.
Because now we're really addressing a specific issue that just
Yeah.
needs a little help and perspective and context
Yeah.
at their home. But the reason we don't do private lessons in the home unless we have trained and
Yeah.
worked with the dog is because it's the dog's turf.
Yep.
Dog's never met me. Dog doesn't know me, and if it's a half-hour lesson, 45 minutes max, you're going to spend 10, 15 minutes just getting the dog to, if it's very friendly, settle the heck down so
Yeah.
we can work. If
Yeah.
the dog is not friendly, you might spend the entire lesson trying to get the dog to settle down and not try to bite me.
Yeah.
Well, we accomplish nothing in that scenario.
Or if it's an anxious dog, it's a
Or
hiding from
anxious,
you, or
Yeah, so that's why we don't do.
Mhm.
We'll do a private lesson if we haven't trained the dog, but it's got to be at our facility,
Yeah.
and we're pretty picky. Why? They got to be no emotional issues.
Yeah.
More skill
Yeah.
based. But not at someone's home. You're wasting so much time trying to
Mhm.
establish leadership, friendship, bond, trust
Yeah.
with the dog, and really a lesson ends up being maybe half the time
Well, in the house is,
effective work.
in my opinion, one of the hardest places to train a dog.
Right.
It's where all their baggage is,
Yeah.
or most of it is. All their problems, all their bad behaviors happen there. Because we would basically like a crawl, then walk, then run method.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to start off with some board and train, day and train. Then we're going to do group class, which even then is very controlled setting
Yeah.
Right.
with other people, with
Because
other
group
dogs.
class is similar to the lesson. It's really designed to be a little more about the owner than the
Yeah.
dog.
Oh, yeah.
It's really teaching them how to work together as a team
Yeah.
Yeah.
in a controlled, distracting environment.
Because in the end, run result is you go take your dog by yourself, like Home Depot
And do stuff.
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
some new place, and you just can't throw people into the deep end.
Right,
Yeah.
right. That's
Slowly
a
ease
good
them into it.
example. So someone had an expectation of bringing a trainer out to their home to resolve an issue or to work on aggression in a private lesson at their house. What would be a reasonable expectation for them?
10 to 20 less sections.
Probably, yeah.
That's what people think they're
Minimum
doing.
10.
Yeah. The people think they're doing private lessons. It's cheaper, but in the long run, it's not going to be
You're
cheaper.
just spreading out the pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're literally
Yeah.
spreading the pain out.
And it might not do anything.
It might not work. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you're talking, it depends on the trainer, but
$100 to $200 an hour.
100 to 200 an hour, because it's not just the hour they're with you. It's like a plumber or
They
anybody.
got to get
They
there.
got to get there, and then they got to go home. So it's their travel time too.
Yeah.
And if you can find someone for 100 an hour, that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Well, that might not be a best option for a reactive dog.
Well, I mean, that's a pretty good price, not a good deal.
Yeah.
It's probably a bad deal.
Yeah, it's probably a bad deal.
Yeah, good point. And that's probably going to be minimum 10 lessons
Yeah.
if it's any reactivity or aggressive. And I would be shocked if you could fix it in 10, unless the dog truly wasn't aggressive. He was more reactive, not
Yeah.
aggressive.
The hard part, though, is how do you transition that to only the
So-
owners?
So,
Yeah.
You need a group setting
Right.
or something.
There has to be some
Yeah.
kind of place the owner can practice with their dog while they're still getting the support of the trainer. That's why I like our group classes, because we have a couple trainers there. One's leading it, and one or two trainers are helping people with their issues that they're having.
I don't know. It seems like it's the easiest for dog trainers, especially doing those, because you can always just blame it on the owner. And I
yeah.
feel like
The lesson, you mean?
the private lesson
lesson.
trainers.
Yeah.
It's never, I'm not good at translating this to people very well. It's the owners didn't do the homework.
Yeah.
That's
Do the
true.
homework. It's
Yeah,
the
trainers are
ultimate-
good about blaming the
They are
Yeah.
very good
owner.
at
Yeah,
that.
where a board and train, you can't really blame the owner.
Nope.
It's
No.
pretty much on our shoulders because we took the owner out of the equation,
Yep.
except for some homework on the weekends.
Well,
And that is disappointing when some owners don't do their homework on the weekend.
It's just a trap a lot of private or even day and train trainers can
Right.
fall into, thinking they're the best dog trainer on the planet. People just don't listen to them.
Right.
It's why the board and train's, in my opinion, a lot better, because there is no we failed. The worst you can with a board and train would be, well, your dog just doesn't do it here.
Yeah.
But even then,
Right, but then that's why we do in-home private
Yeah.
lessons after training, because now
Yep.
we'll go, okay, let's go find the place he
Yeah.
does do this one behavior
Yeah.
so we can work on it, because we have not seen that X behavior.
Yeah.
And sometimes that pops up and
Yeah.
we have to do it.
But that's the whole point of group class and private lessons.
Yeah.
Or sometimes.
Now we've trained the dog.
Yes.
So we have a relationship with the dog. We have a leadership relationship, trust. Now when we arrive for the private lesson, even if it's at their home, hi, quick pet, boom, we start working.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because the dog knows, hey, it's work time. So we're working within like 2 minutes walking in the door.
Yep.
Not spending half the lesson or maybe all the lesson, trying to get the dog to accept me into his environment.
Yeah. It's much more efficient and effective way to train dogs.
And faster.
And people. Yeah.
And faster. Because you're saying at 10, if you do 10 sessions, that's 10 weeks.
Yeah.
Because they're usually once a week.
I almost say that's like death by 1,000 cuts. It's like, oh my goodness, this is taking a long,
Yeah.
Oh, that's really dragging it out.
Because I
board
tell
and train's
people,
immersive. You're immersing the dog in repetition day after day after day after day, and that's why you get great results so fast.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go back to the human or the hard part. It's like the gym. If you don't see fast enough results, which is why most people fail the gym, you stop going.
You stop going.
Give up.
So now you stop. And we see it a lot. People come in, hey, I've worked with 2 or 3 trainers in the past, and then we'll talk to them. Okay, what kind of training did you do? And half time it was private lessons. Well, there's why. There's why.
They could have been the best dog trainer in the world.
They may have been one. Yeah,
but your dog could just be learning very slowly, just by whatever reason.
Not getting enough repetition to firm that foundation up.
Or the owners don't have enough
time
repetition, like.
The timing's not off. The timing is
or they don't have enough dogs to train the reactive.
All repetitions are not created equal.
Yeah.
If the owner's doing a sloppy repetition, the dog is doing a sloppy repetition. So now you're training your dog to be sloppy at not reacting or at whatever you're trying to work and teach your dog.
Or the owner is trying with all their little heart, but they're doing it different than the dog training's off.
It's not their profession.
No.
Their timing's
struggling.
Yeah. Yeah, to pick any trade that I know we could do. Like I could lay tile, but it wouldn't be as good as a tile guy.
Oh no,
it's going to take me 3 times longer than a tile guy, maybe 7 times longer than a tile guy, and I'm going to see all these little imperfections afterwards and go, damn it, why didn't I get a tile guy?
And the amount of tiles you're going to break and you're going to waste.
Yeah. So that any profession, there's quite a few out there that a lot of people could do.
Yeah. Painting.
Anyone can change a toilet, but can you do it as fast?
Do you do it every single day? Are you that good at it? And the time's a big one because I tell you what, you could fix an aggressive dog with a little plastic clicker. It would take you a couple years.
Yeah.
But it's all Pavlovian conditioning. Right. But the more consistency you have, the less repetitions you have to do.
Right.
And the board and train, we can get over a lot of repetitions very consistently.
And more exposure to
that's what it is, exposure.
In a controlled environment.
Yeah.
All about setting the dog up for success. What other expectations might someone have for a private lesson? Oh, so now if they're doing a private lesson at a facility, what would their expectation be?
See the whole facility. See other dogs in training in the facility.
Okay, so they've seen that. Now they're doing the lesson.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, my brain. You would try and start off alone, away from other dogs, if you can.
So the facility needs to be big enough that you can have truly a one-on-one eval, or lesson. You don't want 2 or 3 other dogs in training right in the same training area that you're in. Other than that, I guess it's pretty much the same as a home. You're going to spend the first part of the lesson getting the dog to listen to you. Now, with a lesson, the owner's doing the majority of the leash handling.
Yeah.
We're just guiding, directing,
anyways,
offering advice. Depending on the dog, if he's friendly, we might take the leash and say, no, here's how I need to do it. And demonstrate it and then hand the leash back. If it's an aggressive dog, then clearly we probably can't do that in just a private lesson.
And we don't do private lessons with aggressive
No, we don't do private lessons. Most of our human aggressive
that dogs. We do here are dogs that are pretty well-mannered dogs.
Yeah.
So a lot of the first lesson, because we sell our private lessons in packages.
Right.
So the first one is going to be some of the handling, and a lot of it's going to be talking to the owner and setting
getting their knowledge up, getting them to understand verbal cues, physical cues, marker words, how to do the hand signals and cues, how to lure Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
they're very much for, I have a great dog, but that's one problem.
And
Yeah.
that's kind of what we're looking at.
Yeah.
We're pretty selective in doing private
Yeah.
lessons because we want the person to be successful in it. We don't
Yeah.
just want to sign someone up for 10 or 20 private lessons and go, well, you can sign up for another 20 if you want. Or now we could do that board and train if you want.
Yeah.
We really want to make sure that, if they did this, they'd be successful.
Well, and good dog training is not cheap. You
No.
only want to invest one
No,
time.
it's time consuming and it is expensive.
Yeah.
It really is. So, like you said, you just want to do it once. You don't want to do it over and over and over at all.
That's also why you want a group class setting after any kind of training to make sure it sticks
Right.
Yeah.
in everyone.
Yeah, we don't do, I think you just mentioned it, Laura, we don't do private lessons only for human aggressive dogs
Oh,
at all.
no.
Of course, we do some private lessons as part of the
Pack.
way we train
Yeah.
a human aggressive dog because we got to build that bond first. But only private lessons? Oh, no. No,
Not
no
even
way.
dog aggressive dogs.
No, not even dog. No aggression.
You can't.
Behavioral modification is
No.
hard.
It's hard. Yeah.
Otherwise, you're really just teaching the trainer or the owner how to correct their dog all the time.
Yes, and that's bad.
Yeah.
You don't want to correct. You also don't want to redirect. So a lot of trainers, well, when they do this, do this. Well, that's redirecting the dog away from that and do a different behavior. What you really want to do is teach the dog to actually change their behavior.
Yeah.
Not redirect them. Because if you're redirecting your dog all the time, you're basically managing your dog for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You have to redirect him every time he does something that you need fixed.
You gotta
He should learn how to do that on his own.
Proactively making good decisions, not reactively dealing with the problems. You'll always deal with it.
Yeah.
It's like if you have a dog that pulls you on the leash and you always have leash pressure to get him to stop pulling on the leash, you're always going to have leash pressure.
Mm-hmm.
If you want your dog to walk without leash pressure, walk it without leash pressure.
You have to teach them how to do that, and they decide not to pull on leashes.
Well, and it's just a habit. If they think that's just how I'm walked is with leash pressure, that's how they're going to walk.
Right.
Is with leash pressure.
Taught them to walk
how to
with
do
leash
it.
pressure.
Yeah.
So now they always pull because they think that's how to walk. Yeah, that's no fun.
That's also a hard part with private lessons is breaking bad habits with
the
owners.
For sure.
You had a dog that has dragged you on the ground a couple times. You are afraid of giving it slack.
Right. Because you don't want to give him the opportunity to lunge and pull and pull you down.
We need to show you how to stop that with him. So you can go, wow, look, it worked. Maybe I'll try.
You got to trust your dog a little bit once you teach him what to do. All right. Well, if our discussion connected with you, we want to invite you to reach out to us. We'd love to be part of you and your dog's training journey together. If you need help, if you're in the Dallas, Oklahoma area, we'd love to work with you and your pup. And be sure to follow us and subscribe to us on YouTube. K-9 Culture 856 is our YouTube handle. And then Instagram and Facebook, we have a large following there. K9 Culture Dog Training DFW is our handle on those. And again, if you're needing help, just go to our website, k-9culture.com. Reach out to us. And if you have a question about your dog, we'll shoot you back an answer. And if you'd like to schedule a pre-evaluation, we can do that with you too. And until next week, go
have fun with your dog.